Hello everyone, this is Venkateswar Verma. I am from Constable College, IT Network Security Waterloo campus, and I'm here to discuss about the topic how to use the zone-based firewalls. If I given for the for the given requirements that was given by an organization, just let me share my screen. Let's go find and let's go see the uh, requirements that was given by. This is the document that was provided for me in order to make the firewall design and its implementation. And this is the overview, and these are the policy requirements, and these are the policy requirements. So I have analyzed this policy requirement that administrative staff must have web access to both DMZ and internet servers, and as well as production staff, IT staff, guests. These are the different departments in an organization that must have like different permissions in order based on their roles and responsibilities in organization. And all internet guests must have only web and DNS access to internet only, not nothing else, nothing else. So let's go see the topology that was created by me under these requirements taken. Yeah. Yes, this is the topology that was created by me. And as you can see, I have created for 4 different workstations that regarding that representing each department. This is the administrative staff, and this is the production staff, and this is the IT staff, and this is the guest. And we have two servers. One is DMZ server, server one, which represents the DMZ services, and this is the internet server which represent the internet services. And these are the IP addresses that was assigned by me for each and every device in this network. And this is the router, which this is the router where we get to implement and design the permissions and configure the permissions using the best practices like zone-based firewalls, which is a stateful inspection firewall, which is an advanced method in that. On it records all the IP addresses, ports, and everything else of source and destination. So I use the method zone-based firewall method, and it is very efficient because we can do zoning, class maps, and all the stuff. So let me go to see. I have configured services like DNS, and I have configured DNS record for the both the servers, and as well as FTP. And I have created a username for me as well in order to access the servers through FTP. And I have configured the HTTP my page. I have customized my web page, and this is it. DNG services for each and for both the servers. Let me go to the configuration of my staff workstations, and these are the configurations for the fast Ethernet ports and as well as. And in order to connect all these components, the single router cannot won't have those many ports. In order to connect all these components, so I have used like the component NM4E, where it has either 4 and Ethernet ports, and you can see it is the 4 Ethernet ports mounted on it, and with 2 inbuilt with the router. So let me go to the CLI configuration, CLI mode. Let me enable password. I have configured all the basic configurations for the network devices like passwords, enforce login, uh, enable password, service encryption method, and SSH, and many RSA key, everything. Now let me show my running config, what I have done with this zone-based router. So as you can see, I have configured all the zones for the each and every branch for admin, production, IT staff, guest, internet, and DMZ. And after that, I have configured like class maps in order to in these class maps are like we have to put the protocols what we want to use in this kind of container. So we are going to direct these class maps to the policy maps, so then we can attach it to policy maps, so we can use these policy maps in order to configure the permissions between the network devices, like admin to internet, admin to DMZ, or admin to this administrative workstation to another workstation. In order to allow permissions, we need these class maps and policy maps. So we are going to embed these class maps into the policy map. So let's go to the policy map, which is admin to DMZ. What we have configured is like with DNS and my Condor ID. So what's embedded in these, like there are a set of protocols that we want to access. We want to give access for those two, for the admin to the DMZ traffic. So we have embedded in this, like the admin to internet, we have used web, which is only which don't have DNS and only the HTTP and HTTPS. And after that, for the IT to DMZ server, the traffic for the IT to DMZ traffic, the policy map is going to inspect all class type, all protocols. It's going to allow all kind of protocols. So after that, finally we are going to using these policy maps in order to finally implement our zone-based firewall security. Is zone-based security, it's going to be provide access and permissions to the admin to the DMZ group. So we are going to embed the policy map through the service policy type admin to DMZ VA. This is what policy that was created by me in here, admin to DMZ VA. So by using this, we completed a zone-based firewall security design and implementation, and I have to add the required departments to the zones to the zone members through fast Ethernet ports for their respective ports. For the 001, it's DMZ zone. So I created for this server. So in order to add those, we have to do it everything. And I have uh, in I have applied NAT protocol in order to everything, all the traffic should flow through the NAT protocol, in the internal network. So I have used these all of these ports. And finally is the NAT protocol for the internet host. It allows it allows it allows the internet server, the traffic from the internet server, and the traffic from the internet server should pass through the NAT protocol through this IP NAT pool NAT. So it allows all the traffic to and from the internet. So I have configured this through NAT, and I have used this access list standard to allow the NAT protocol of the NAT protocol of the internet services that was above used for that network as well. It's going to this access list going to permit the all the workstations which are under the 175.25.0.0 network into the internet services. So this is what I have done. This is what I have done through the pre-requirements that were given by an organization through this document. So this is it. Thank you for watching. This is the best practice. This is one of the best practice in order to make these kind of design and implementations in an organization. So thank you for watching.